All right, so if you will, I'm going to do roll call. Alderman Barber, here. Steve Bobowski, here. Justin Lockridge, here. Barb Wiesner,
Here.
Timothy Walker, here. All right, looks like we got one. All right, if you will, we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance, please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. I almost feel like saying play ball. It just feels like that, you know. There we go. That kind of deal. All right, we have a citizen comment period. Any comments from the citizens? No? Okay. We can move on, or do I have to do both? Okay. Approving the minutes from the June 9th, 2023 meeting. Do I have a motion to accept?
So move.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Move forward. Great. Marble and granite by design site plan amendment. Now, as I read through this, it appears that the staff is recommending we do this. Yes.
Correct.
Regular, but you're here. Talk to us.
Sure.
Tell us about this. Why this is such a good idea.
Good afternoon, Regular Martinez, Principal Planner with the Department of City Development. So this is an application for a site plan amendment. So site plan amendment is basically for additions or enlargements to existing buildings.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for basically approximately 300 square foot showroom for this company of Granite and Marble Design. This use is a permitted use in Plan Development District. So it's an addition that
it says attached. So with that, this is here.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
that a small addition. I mean, small compared to the building.
Yeah.
To the existing building. So in the Plan Development District, there is a floor area ratio. That is 1.5 square footage of the lot area. So with this addition, it will be about 0.1. So it's far below the maximum permitted in the Plan Development District. For landscaping, the applicant is proposing at least 10 trees, while the minimum is 7 trees per the ordinance. So it complies with the landscape requirements.
What kind of trees?
I need to take a look at you have the landscape plan there. Well,
do we have specs on that? Like they got to be maple or what?
Yeah, I mean the PDD has the minimum quantity.
Yeah.
But I'm not aware of any specifics. However, the existing trees is what is required.
Okay.
So the existing trees that the site already has comply with the ordinance.
Okay.
They are proposing additional landscaping, but that's like extra.
Extra.
Yeah. So
Okay.
with regards to lighting, they are not proposing any lighting. Parking. The parking requirements in this district is based on the number of employees. So this is not increasing the number of employees, so it doesn't require additional parking. And with regards to the architecture, the proposed materials, there is marble, stone panels, aluminum, and glazing. It's acceptable materials for the ordinance.
Do we know how much they're paying for this?
The building costs? No, I don't have that information.
The reason I ask is
Mhm.
it's 50,000 or 150,000. They're obviously committed. When you start paying some pretty good money, so they're going to make it a nice looking thing. But that's the only reason. That's why.
Yes, yeah, we don't have any objections to the architecture.
Okay.
We don't have any objections to that. And they're proposing a sign, but that will require a separate permit. So this approval will be only for the building addition,
Yeah.
and the sign will be under a separate application that will go be presented to you for approval.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it called the sign review, and that is included as a condition.
Okay. Gotcha.
Are you Tarek?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And here's the applicant.
Oh, welcome.
Hello.
Gotcha.
How are you guys?
Doing great, thank you. Yeah, welcome. Tell us about this. Looks interesting. What are we doing?
Basically, I've been, my building, we do countertops.
Yeah.
So we deal a lot with the customer direct. And
Okay.
whenever they Google the address, they drive in. Most of the time, it takes them to the back parking lot where the employees
Sure.
park. Not to the, so I've been looking for ways to kind of get the attention to where the entrance is. We also had a tenant in the portion of the building that
Yeah.
was in the front. And that lease ended in February. So we wanted to put the showroom in the front and we wanted people to be able to see it. So we wanted to have something, as a guidance for entrance, something that stands out.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing all of this.
Got it. So I asked a minute ago, what's the cost?
The cost, what I got so far is $400,000 for the entire project. That's the outdoor and the
Gotcha. And I assume you're using marble and all those. I mean, your products.
correct. So we're doing the porcelain slabs on the outside, the exterior.
Yeah.
And we're doing inside the showroom. We're also doing displays.
Gotcha. Well, okay. The building industry right now. I mean, it's been great, and then it kind of got a little softer. Yes.
Correct. I would say the residential is still strong. The commercial, we see a little bit of softness.
Yeah.
But we still have a lot of projects that haven't been finished yet.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's still strong.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
If you don't mind, about how much are you guys doing in sales?
Last year we did about 2.2. This year we're looking at 2.5.
For you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you expect that this is going to be a place where people are going to come in and going to be able to sell? Do you have people working the counter and things like that?
Yeah, we already have a showroom, a
Yeah.
very small one. So people are coming in. They're we're selling direct, and we want to be able to cater to higher end homes. And in order to compete with basically the two big competitors I have is KG Stevens and House of Stone.
Okay.
They both have nicer showrooms than what I have, and that's why I want to put on a nicer showroom. That way, we're up to our competitors' standard.
And then there is Hallquist Stone.
Hallquist is not a big competition.
No.
No.
Why?
Their price is way out there compared to ours. I think that's.
That would make a reason, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Hallquist, they focus on mining stone and selling. So the countertop business is more of an addition for them, not their main work. So they have a bigger margin for profit.
Yeah.
With their countertop.
Okay. Gotcha. And you guys have been in business how long?
15 years.
Congratulations.
Thank
you. Good. And how long have you been here in Franklin?
3 years. So 3 years ago is when we acquired the building.
Yeah.
We were kind of forced out of our old location in Oak Creek.
Okay.
They're
like that
want
over
to
there,
renew
yeah.
the lease.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. I just threw stones at them. No, I guess we're being videoed or whatever. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sure. The previous owner, basically, we were sharing with United Rentals in Oak Creek.
Yeah.
And United Rentals, their business was doing good. My business was doing good. So I asked to do an addition that I would pay for to the previous building we were at. Well, when we were looking at it, United Rentals heard of it. They said, well, we wanted the addition. We want to expand. So they talked to the owner into letting our lease expire and they take over because they had 3/4 of the building.
Okay.
So it was bad news that turned into good news because by acquiring our own building, double the space, the mortgage is the same as the rent that we were at before. So it worked out really good.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else have questions?
How many employees do you have?
We're currently 15. Yes.
Have you had trouble keeping them or getting them?
No, actually, we've been pretty good. We keep giving them benefits, extra benefits. So we have kept our own employees. We added 3 employees this year.
Gotcha. Dustin, thoughts?
Good.
All right, Tim? Gotcha. Huh?
It's like a good business.
Got it.
Thank you.
You recommend this? Good thing? All right. Anybody have questions? Because mean, it seems like it's a pretty solid
Mhm.
program with regulars agreement, and you saying this is going to help your business.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we're in the business of helping business. So if, you know, if I could get a motion to,
I move to approve.
okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
second.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? You win, baby. You're in.
Thank you.
Happy Friday.
Thank you. Very much.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thanks, Regular. Appreciate it.
You can sign it now, or you can sign it at the end of the meeting.
Sign it now.
Sign it now, and you and Tim both on there.
All right. So we got, wow, we got that first one covered. Yeah. All right. 2024 budget process. John, you going to take us through that?
Yeah. In your, I sure hope it's in, yep, in your packets.
It's a nice
You have a sheet that we looked at before, when we were looking at, you know, what we could repurpose for our materials, redevelopment, and strategic planning. So that's what the highlights come from. And this is our current programming budget. And so the numbers that it consists of, you know, we have, you know, some basics for professional services, supplies, printing, marketing supplies, membership dues, conferences and schools, advertising, mileage and marketing services, and business volunteer recognition. The ones we've been most involved in typically are the marketing services and business volunteer recognition. And the recognition was increased last year to cover the actual costs, so we weren't pulling it, and then that decreased our marketing services down to the $20,000 level it's at. You know, today we'll be discussing some of the marketing supplies. Again, we repurposed all that to put out 2 RFPs that we have for materials and for the planning services, strategic planning services. So, you know, this basically is what I'm going to submit again, but in the marketing services, you know, I'll look close at and see, you know, what I would forecast. You know, we might be able to do a little less than that. However, it does not include items that you would like to see in the
Right.
marketing. So we didn't have that included. You know, my first go around, I followed instructions and put together, you know, a budget looking at what we've been going on in the past.
Yeah.
So we need to think about what, you know, you folks think you need in the budget for the kinds of activities you foresee. It's kind of difficult. Would have been difficult if we'd had a response to the strategic planning, just because of timing. Because
Right.
I have to get something put together, you know, by next month, and that way we can make a presentation to the finance committee. And I think that is in late August.
So
I remember.
if we go down, we got 1.9. Yes.
Right.
And then the 31,500.
That was the original budget. The amended
Oh.
budget. Well, the original budget was 51,950. Correct.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then the 31,500.
That's what we were able. Everything that was highlighted was repurposed and pulled into those dollars that were available for the 2 RFPs.
Okay. Got it. So net about 15,000 apiece.
We budgeted 60. We said we allocate 15,500, which
Okay.
takes us to the 31,000.
Right.
Left us a little change.
So do we have the plan? Budget this 24. 424.
Well, this is this year's.
Okay, so we still will have, based on we have 16 left over, assuming that is that enough? For a marketing strategic plan?
For a strategic plan, the only thing I heard back was from the folks that worked for Sault Ste. Marie.
Right.
And so you had that number, 31,000, I
Yeah.
think. I have not heard back from anybody.
Ask, they can always say no.
Well, I guess we can ask around to the people that we talk to and find out.
What they would.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't put it in, we won't get it. If we don't get it, we won't get anybody.
But I mean, we've heard.
We've proven that, we can't get them at 15 or 16, that didn't work. So,
Well, and you know, some of the big projects that we've seen, Green Bay's was 50 to begin with. And so that's why we should probably talk to some of the providers.
yeah,
See what
okay,
they
yeah,
think.
right, okay.
And-
Yeah.
and-
Did you tell them 30, 15?
No, I told them 15,
So that's-
15.5. And so,
So then we know 15.5 didn't get a whole lot of interest.
Right.
And,
well,
yeah.
yeah, when you take a look at
Yeah.
some of the comprehensive work some of them are doing, I mean, we had one contractor for the materials, the marketing materials, call up and ask about it, and I talked to a couple of them, and they never said.
They said no.
And you know, the folks that handle Sault Ste. Marie, they were too busy to get.
Yep.
So they're busy, and they're probably busy with stuff that's being more bigger projects than what this was.
So my recommendation is ask for more. Oh, yeah. 15.5, so. Anybody else have a number? You can ask around, but what you hadn't told. Put a number.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question about the business volunteer recognition
Mhm.
event. I know that at some point in the past, this commission had a fee to attend. It was a $25 fee to attend,
Right.
and then I believe the mayor at the time said, nope, we're just going to pay for it. So there's no charge.
Right.
Now that's $11,000. Do you anticipate with this mayor that there might be some thought about going back to a fee for the event to help defray the cost?
Yeah.
And if I may add to it, we also proposed to Steve that, hey, you know what, we can get sponsors too. You know, all of a sudden, we got more money. And then, yeah, like you said, Steve said, no, boom, done, so we didn't even bother asking. So that is a question.
So I'm not sure if you had a sense for what Mayor Nelson might.
It's worth a question, yeah.
Haven't broached the subject.
Okay, I was just.
Let's ask, please, because I mean, if all of a sudden it changes then the scope a little bit.
Right.
Although, in fairness, would you do much more of anything? I mean, it was
What do you mean?
it was heavy appetizers, and everybody paid for their own drinks. I mean,
And
I don't
think
know.
And the turnout was about the same every year.
Yeah,
Whether
I mean,
they
I don't.
paid
Yeah,
or
I mean,
not.
well, so if you make it bigger and more food, I don't know how
No, I
you
don't-
feed them more. I don't know
no.
what I would do more.
No, I'm not suggesting that we have more food or anything. I'm just thinking that a cost to attend might defray the cost rather than free. And
Okay.
also, it also gives you a little bit of skin in the game. I mean, I know I've signed up for things that are free and then I don't go.
Yeah.
But if I pay for it, I'll probably show up.
Right, and I'm with you. Which was first off, would you do more of anything? Okay, so
No.
based on Bowling got it, you can get it for about 11.2. It's a pretty good show. I mean, I
Oh,
thought it was.
yes.
So then
it
the
was.
question is, okay, so if we get up our own, if we generate 11.2, we can free up this 11.2 for something else. I agree.
Mhm.
So, I don't think we get, you don't make $75 a pop.
Oh, yeah.
You can probably get 10, 15, 25.
I think it was 25 at
Was
one
it?
point.
Yeah, it might
I
have been.
believe so.
We should also take a look at what other communities are doing for their event like this. Game, like is 25 reasonable, is 10, or are they doing it free?
Well, I can tell you from my experience with the chamber, we charged, I believe it was $50.
Yeah, I think so. And good turnout.
And good turnout and
Yeah.
good food, and that was a sit-down meal.
Right.
So,
Okay. Well, okay, sit down probably bumps you up some, but
Uh-huh.
on the other hand, we get plenty of food. Okay,
yeah,
that's a great idea.
So,
Yeah.
What's the attendance at generally?
what
Yeah.
is what?
How many people generally attend?
About 125.
And it's held where?
Well, we've had it at the country club.
Tuckaway.
And
That going.
Polish Center.
Did we do
Call
Polish
that?
Center?
Yeah, we did Polson.
Good.
a couple years ago? Yeah,
Okay.
and then Steve wanted it back at the Tuckaway.
Mhm. You're speaking to the Root River Center here. so-
Yeah, okay. That's right.
You're speaking to someone 27 years of experience, so I'm like calculating cost per person and
Mhm.
thinking for 125 people, $11,000 is a little high.
Okay.
But then I'm looking at, okay, Polish Center is $3,000 for the room, and Tuckaway is ridiculously overpriced for everything, so it makes sense. That's pretty high. Why is
Mhm.
Gotcha.
And
But that did not include alcohol. I mean, everybody paid their own. Obviously, it's a good liability defer, which is well, you bought them.
And it probably would be a good idea to move this around instead of having the same location all the time to showcase other parts of the city.
I agree. It was not. I mean, it was like.
I know. Well, that's, things have changed, so.
Yeah. Well, and again, under those circumstances, we should look at other
Mhm.
places. I mean, it was a nice venue, but there are
Mhm.
other places.
Right.
Okay.
the only thing we need to really try to focus on is avoiding the third week in October. Because we always end up landing. That's the municipal league. And that can take out the mayor, which it did 2 years in a row. And can also take out council.
Okay. So then, what are you thinking?
This year, the fourth week would be doable. The other weeks, the fourth week. The fourth week would be good. Probably better.
I suggest we wait till the Packers schedule comes out.
Ooh,
I think that's out. So we'll have to consult.
Yes,
you're right, because that does affect.
it sure does. I know one year it was
Yeah.
being planned for the Thursday night game, and I thought, well, we're going to have any people coming.
We did move it, didn't we?
We did,
Yeah.
yes. We moved it to the following week, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, we did
I
move
do
it.
think so too.
Mhm.
And that-
Packers did not move their date. We moved ours.
Yeah,
Did you ask? They may
right.
No,
Too.
no.
Yeah, we got our
Didn't even try.
recognition dinner. Yeah.
Is that schedule out already?
NFL schedules?
Yeah.
They're out.
Okay, I guess I haven't looked. Okay. We'll just have to take a look at it.
Well, okay, so that's true, Packers, but in general, Thursday night football does get attendance. There's not a Wednesday night game or a Tuesday night game. So Tuesday, Wednesday might be preferable to a Thursday, only because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly Packers. You know that one. Okay. Any other comments, thoughts about this? John, you got a lot of stuff there on that one.
Right, yeah, it's just one, I mean, if there's other things we need to think about, putting in there. Those requests and
Well,
we'll put some pricing to it, that
we
way
don't
we can
have
make a,
any, do we have any other numbers? We were gonna check with, was it Sault Ste. Marie or?
it was 31,000 for Susan. For planning.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna have to ask. Probably a minimum of 30 or
35.
35 more. And you're not gonna cut it, even if you're charging $25 a pop. You're not gonna cut it. This will maybe deliver 5 if you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, let's talk about marketing materials. Why don't you walk us through them a little bit? You got a chance to study them.
Well, got 2 proposals that were submitted to us, and both of them have talked to me and are familiar with what we're looking for, and they've both given us some examples of what they've done, and the folks with Carl have done work nationally, and they cited some in Overland Park, and as well as and then 3 projects they've done locally. Westlake Ace, FlexRide Milwaukee is kind of more of a development project, and Mobilize FlexRide is more of a development type of project. And so they all give a pretty thorough outline of how they want to approach this work. folks with Carl utilize students a lot. They do a lot of student internships and employees. So that's kind of been their focus is working with student population to get them engaged and started out in the field, as well as to employ them while they're still students, probably for the summer after graduate. And the students are competent. We worked with them doing the study that the Tourism Commission had them do, for researching messaging and the best market, identify the best market for tourism. We've identified the economic development guide, the business parks, promotional materials for the two business parks, and the site.
Okay.
And they propose $15,500 straight out as their budget, and give the cost for each one. The guide is $5,000, and the business park materials are $4,500. Doing a page refresh, $6,000. Break stuff.
Mhm.
And then the folks with MCR have a lot of national experience and local experience with marketing and branding, and they've listed their particular curriculum vitae, and listed some of the marketing projects that they've done. C.H. Coakley is a local project that they've worked on, and got those folks really revamped as far as their electronic or digital presence is concerned. And so it is a nice website. Help them increase their new sales 25%. New customers coming in the door.
I know the folks who spoke with you and asked about it. They are happy with it. They do a nice job. I wasn't as clear, though, on the rate in which they're going to cook. Can they make this work for the 15.5? I said,
Well, the general sense I got was we'll start with 5
Yeah.
and then.
kind of where I was too, Tim. I mean, it's like, yeah,
So,
guys, you didn't say you could do for 15.5. If you can, then I'm interested. But if, like you said, it's a starting at 15.5, we're going to niggle on up, and guess what? You're going to have a bill for 25. That's not. I mean, it's 15.5.
Well,
It's what you got.
you got the other side of the coin. We're talking about the fact that nobody's responding to the price we're at. So no matter what's going to happen down the road, you off up more. So the question becomes, in my view, is to kind of start with something like this and
Yeah.
ask more and do more later.
But okay, you're right, because there are 3 pieces to it here.
Correct.
Which was
Or,
do we
want to postpone it, ask for a bigger sum?
Well, but on the other hand, the first guy says he can do it for 15.5.
Well,
You get what you pay for?
yeah. I mean, you. I don't get the sense when I read this. You guys probably talked to him, dealt with it. And all I did was hear. I don't get the sense either one of us can get the job done. I'm not. It's just my sense of. I think what we're looking for is something a step above flex share, ride share, whatever. My personal. But
What do you think, Barb?
I kind of like working with Carl Collective.
You have worked with them?
No, I like the idea
Oh,
of
okay.
working with them. And I guess I appreciate also, they're very upfront. This is what we will charge. And you're right, Tim. I think the other proposal was, I left a lot of room for
Right.
development.
Well, I mean, I think it's going to cost more. At the end of
Yes.
the day, it's certainly
Well-
more like at least 25% more.
Yeah, because she said note, both billing options are for time only, don't include things like photography,
Yeah.
photos, all these other things and hard costs.
I'm thinking more like
Yeah.
300%.
Yeah. They're asking for a retainer of $4,000 a month,
Yeah,
right off, without any,
you're looking at, they're shooting for, my view is they're shooting for 75,000 plus. I'm reading, but maybe I'm.
I in my mind said 25, but you could be right. But then that would not be right. I mean, they knew the parameters, right?
Well, they're just throwing their hat around.
Yeah, okay, what the hell? Yeah. And once I got you hooked, what are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
once you're in the middle of the process.
Right. The only downside of that, then they don't understand government. I mean, the budget is the budget. I mean, you don't usually
Well,
go,
I
especially
get it,
down
but
like,
what they're gonna do is deliver up to what they do and
Well.
stop, you know? Well,
yeah, when you get money next year,
Yeah.
talk to us.
there you go. That's what I'm saying. So, and my thought is, what if our request, you know, they're not going to increase it, but we have to do it over a period of years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do we know anybody who's used Carl Collective?
The Tourism Commission
Tourism
has.
Do they like them?
And
Do you-
I would say overall, so far, yes.
Good enough?
I think so.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you know, we have to sit down, we're going to pick someone and negotiate a contract.
Yeah.
With them. And so we want to get a look at what they're going to do. And so this contract that we negotiate, we're going to take to common council.
Right.
And they'll approve the contract. It gets inked.
Right.
So we need to, we'll sit down and talk with them, and if we don't like what we hear,
Mhm.
Yeah.
we can say, okay, this isn't working, try the other one, or
Mhm.
go to increase the amount for a later date.
And I'm assuming that the contract that Tourism Commission had with Carl Collective was also approved by the Common Council? I mean, I just don't
No.
recall. It was not.
No, because there's a difference between
Okay.
the common council and the rest of the commissions. We're funded by
Right,
the levy, if you will.
okay.
Tourism Commission has its own dedicated source of revenue.
Yeah, because I couldn't remember that the Common Council actually had to approve that. That's why.
It's the billing process, the voucher process is a little different.
Right.
And
Different animals.
some parts are the same.
It's like you were the same.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag for me.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's what we're trying to decide is who we want to sit down and try to work out. The take.
You say the Tourism Commission is okay with Carl.
Yeah, I would say
Collective,
so.
yeah.
John, would you say so too? I think, yeah, we've been pleased with them.
And they're on budget
I think so. Yeah. I have to look at
and
it.
reasonably on time. And they know
Yes.
us.
And they know us. I think maybe that's,
I don't know. I'm inclined to say yes, Tim.
Well, their portfolio shows a little more quasi-governmental stuff. Like MCIPR is more corporate. There is a difference when it comes to material creation and marketing between the two.
Mhm.
Additionally, like just looking at their portfolio, if we're looking at someone to revamp the website, MCI's website is using unlicensed images and is hosted by GoDaddy with one of their templates. So I don't know if that's
And we're going to be working with the administration office where the webmaster is. And, working with them so that they can download the material and try to improve the function as well as, some of the content. And, some of it will be the same, but we'll see what we can do to work within, the code that the city uses to try to make it look more effective. There could be some photos we can inject, but we need somebody to do that so we can hand it over to the administration, because this is, Lisa that sits right next door, this is part of her job. This is one of her jobs, being webmaster. And it's like, I don't know how she does it. I know why she's so thin, she never has time to eat. So,
and I'll put my plea in right now. I think the city needs communications. I've said that over and over. that all of that sort of thing can be in one person.
And I've had that,
Good, all right.
I think the former council.
Mhm.
Could that come under economic development, communications director? I mean, we could, if you don't get it approved now, perhaps as part of the strategic plan for economic development. I mean, so if we can't get it in the first now, I mean, by its own, you throw it in there and you have to now at least address it.
Yeah, we have to pay for it too.
Understood. Yeah, but I mean, the fact is, okay, the strategic plan comes back and says, here's what
This
it's
is
going to
what
cost.
we need.
But the other part of that is the budgeting. Somebody else is also a third party saying this is what it's going to cost
Mhm.
if you want to be an A player. It'd be well, okay. So we should make sure that somehow that sneaks in there. If not, if they don't on their own put it in, that we should make sure somebody, because it is. If communication and message doesn't get out in a way that's attractive to people.
Mhm.
So, do I have a motion to move forward with Carl? I liked it.
I so move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, I mean, you can stand. Good. I just think, you know what, let's do something. And we got a track record which says they're doing good work. Let's get them to do more.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So that's our, our economic development update, please.
Okay. We talked a little bit about strategic planning services.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a response on that. And, the process going forward, unless we're trying to figure out something different, was this call up, like you just mentioned, call up a couple of the targeted candidates that we contacted and see what it is that would make them interested.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Pardon?
we're going to need more information there on
Yep, we will.
what's going to move forward if dollars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. The only other part I'd add to is I wrote out some thoughts for all of us here. That's the very last one. But it talked about, and the reason I did this was, as we're getting ready to create materials, it's hard to create materials unless you know what you're shooting for.
Mhm.
And so that kind of was one of those, and I guess I'd like y'all to take a peek and got something and say, how we can make this better as a statement. Shoot it back to John. But I mean, I thought that just from an overall business growth and expansion, we have two main things. One is attract new ones and then keep the ones that are here. And, I know you've talked a little bit, John, about what you're doing to, retain people. But, at this point, you're a one-man band. And they say, 80% of your growth is from existing in most businesses. 20% is from new. Yeah, I bet we probably spend 80% of our time chasing new, as opposed to maintaining. So I guess if you say, well, that's probably on target, then what do we do about it? And that this doesn't really include the nuts and bolts. You get 10 people and they're all going to make 10 calls a day. That's not what it does overall. In there, and I thought that it's in second line of the focus, attract, focus. And I identified some areas that I've seen in the past that, like advanced manufacturing. We do have manufacturing capabilities, but I don't know that we should just take anybody. Somebody who's, progressive, if you will. Digital media and entertainment, maybe. Healthcare and medical technology. We do have healthcare here, but healthcare's strong. And they pay the bills. Logistics, distribution, regional divisional headquarters. And to me, that was kind of the thing which is okay. The whole idea that, we're just outside Milwaukee. Come on, get down out there. And Chicago, that's awful. Come on. It was that kind of feel. So I guess the thought was, hey, fish where we're going to be most attractive. And that would be, at least from a marketing standpoint, how can you get that message in materials that we're looking at. And then from a retained standpoint, I thought that, you know what, I've seen this work pretty well, which is obviously beyond the favorable incentives and things like that, but you know what, why not highlight somebody who's already here? You know, somebody who's doing business in Franklin, and, you know, they pop up on our website, the new one we're creating here, and say, hey, I love it here. And you will too. It's a little hokey, but we all get the concept which says, why not make heroes out of the people that are here? Everybody likes to be seen. Somebody come up and say, oh, I saw you, you know, that kind of stuff. Just a couple of thoughts. New, you know, here's the thoughts. Location, business climate. Now, it's not been our reputation, by the way, that we're a good place to do business, because we throw everything, including the kitchen sink, to slow you up. Our reputation. I don't know if that's changed, by the way. I mean, I say it and we go, yep, that's Franklin. And it can be as easy as when somebody calls, just be nice to them. We're not known to be nice. Kind of bite people's heads off. But that might be an old perception. I mean, it's if it is, no. Okay, so that, I think, you know, it starts with recognizing that those are our next customers. Workforce development. I know we've got that subtle kind of thing happening.
Flex Ride's going on now. Yeah, it's been started, and it's getting some use here. Okay. And we need to check with the executive director to mobilize and see what the advertising efforts are in the area that we're trying to pull from, which is the southern side of the world.
I just saw a Crohn's van. I don't know. I want to say like a Sprinter van. Drive around and put people in it. It was kind of like that last mile kind of thing. But if we don't have workers, then there's no way it's going to grow. Right. Now, well, maybe we should have housing. Yeah. Whoa, yeah, but I think we'll get a whole pushback on that one, so I didn't throw that in.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean,
you don't want those people here.
That's the comment. On the other hand, if you don't have people working, then you're not going to do anything more. So it's kind of it's not in here, but it somehow, some way should be discussed.
Just recently, I had a conversation with Paul Wolding from Carmel Labs.
Yeah.
None of their employees live in Franklin. None of them.
Can't afford to? Kind of the concept, yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
Where do they live?
Anywhere but Franklin, apparently. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not sure.
Minimum housing.
And they have, they can't afford to live here.
Yeah.
My wife moved here and she said, where's the low income housing? She came up from, he said, you're living it. I was like,
yeah.
Like,
no, okay.
you know.
So that becomes problematic in attracting, because you got to have workers. And I'm not so sure. I was vans and transporting people in. Sounds great, but I don't know that they really what we need.
Well, you got to think about the other end. You know, you're coming in to work. Okay, and coming in to work for $15, $20 an hour, even if it's $25 an hour. Okay. You know, and you got to take a 45-minute to an hour ride to get here, because by the time you get to from your place, wherever you are in the core, to the pickup place, then they got to pick you up, and then they got to drop somebody off. So you're, so now I got to work an 8-hour day. Now it's stretched to a 10-hour day. You know, when I worked at We Energies downtown, it was a 10-minute ride. Because I picked my home close to the freeway. I, planned it all out, but those people don't have that luxury. And like I said, all of a sudden you go from, you seriously want to commute for an hour? Some people do, but people don't. So we and don't take what I'm about to say wrong. I'm all in favor of what we're trying to do here. I really am. But you've got an underlying current here. In the vast majority of the population here, I would be willing to bet, I have no proof to back it up, but I'm willing to bet that they want this to be a bedroom. Period.
Yeah.
So it all goes back to we want those people here. We don't want the slaughterhouse. We don't want the this. We don't want the that. We don't want the everything that. No matter what you try, that it's like the Mississippi. It may look great on the top, but boy, you get in there and it turns dragging you in whatever direction it wants to go. And the underlying population isn't open to.
Yeah. Well, and to that, right, and we are competing. Right around on 94, we compete for the players.
Yep.
Why they should be here. So,
I mean, I think we have a million great things to offer here as a community. I really do. I'm a Franklin resident for a long time. I like living. I think one of the main things is we've got, we're not quite like Oak Creek where the freeway runs right through us, but very close. Easy to get access to. You've got, Highway 36. You got a lot of things. Highway 100. You got ways of getting in and out of here pretty good. And I think that's a positive thing. But
so as you're looking proactive on the track, who are you targeting? Do I have the right ones listed, or should they be different? Company, or are you looking at advanced technology, manufacturing?
Well, I think we have, that's why I included some of the materials. I think we have business parks, like the corporate park. It says corporate headquarters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And industrial headquarters is what it's called, industrial headquarters. We understand that functions come with them. Saputo's prime example. They're going to be, actually they won't be making the cheese there, they'll be cutting it and packaging it. Which is a lighter use, but they're going to start with 40,000 square feet of office in that facility. It truly is their headquarters.
Right.
And so some manufacturers, you're going to have some of those operations. But I think we also, if you look at we're looking for offices, we're looking for research and development. So I think we're looking for some of those high technology type uses. And, with some of the companies that we have, they're going to be automating more. Partly because, it's getting harder and harder to find employees. Some of it's space. But that's a good thing, because the more they automate and they want to use those existing employees that they have and train them, give them higher skills, it brings high
wages.
Yeah. So the trend, with our existing companies is working that way, but I think we're also looking at new companies realize that trend. That they're looking at more higher tech research and development. And office type jobs.
Well,
but
we kind of just, as you look at the list, other than manufacturing, it's kind of saying people who could afford to live here.
Yes, and that's why I had nothing to say about what you wrote. I thought it was great. I agree with it. But just because of that was what was running through my head.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of
those people they're going to hire are going to.
Yep, and then they could actually live here.
Right.
And then, just quality of life. And I think probably one of those things, I don't know if we take enough of rock. I don't know. I mean, it's certainly a point of interest. Some people, we do. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, it is kind of one of our claims to fame. We don't really have a downtown section. And so, should that be more of our EDC effort? How can we make that more? As opposed to perhaps being retail. I don't know. It just seemed like quality of life. Everybody leaves Franklin to go for those things. Is there things that we could be doing here? They have started something. That was kind of the thought that here.
Kind of a dovetail to this. how do, how do you take advantage of those quality of life aspects? Use it to attract a resident.
Yeah.
And so, when there's development projects to create housing for those residents that we're targeting, those projects, I mean, and we're talking about contemporary, market rate residences. If it's multifamily, then it hits bumps. Even though that's kind of the demand right now and kind of the necessity to have some of the other retail. So there's bumps on how we dovetail that in there.
I don't have any
And you
problems.
want to think about how do we do that?
I don't know. I don't have a problem throwing a rock. It's fine. You're right. Things about it. But I think you're going to be promoting more lifestyle things, and my view on it, build on more mainstay Brewers, the Bucks, Lake Michigan. Nobody is going to move into a community and only go to those things.
Yeah.
You have to.
You're right. Why limit it just to what's in Franklin?
You
But
just-
it's really part of a metropolis.
Community.
Correct. So you just need to take advantage of those.
Yeah.
Summerfest or the ethnic festival. Or, that's what I would not. It's not that you wouldn't want to promote the rock, but I'm just saying.
No,
In
I
conjunction
hear what you're
with
saying.
it.
Let's just take advantage of all that's available.
Correct.
So, okay, I plan to go down to Summerfest tomorrow.
Yeah, and that you
Might-
might point out that
Yeah.
all the things I just mentioned are a 20-minute ride away.
I was gonna say, it's like 18, 20 minutes depending.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that to me is what you want to focus on, because people are going to buy a 10-pack to go to Brewers or whatever the. You're in you got a fine dining downtown Milwaukee. I would just highlight those things, as opposed to you're living out by O'Hare and it takes you hour and 15 minutes to get to someplace down on the mile.
Yeah.
It costs you $30 to park.
Right.
Have that type of experience in 20 minutes and
Yeah.
$10 to park.
You know what? I
Whatever.
guess you're right. I mean, it is. All that plus, from Franklin, if you're staying in Franklin, you do all those things. Yeah, it's good quality life. Okay, those are just some thoughts as you talk to these people.
One of the things you can bring up with Franklin would be still is a semi-rural atmosphere. That.
Yeah.
That's how I would.
All right. That was that one. I just appreciate y'all's thought, and it was just something for you as a discussion piece. Then we got down there number B, which is current prospects. According to the current, we can't do that unless we will that we can. Is that right? Okay. I would like to, be the guy championing that, as in I recommend that we have closed session so we actually can hear what we got going. Do I have a second?
And what we need to do is it needs to be
Oh, this whole thing?
item B, the Economic Development Commission.
All right. The Economic Development Commission may enter closed session pursuant to Wisconsin stat, is that a 5?
Subsection.
Oh, subsection
Wisconsin statute.
19.851E. For market competition reasons, delivered and consider potential commercial, industrial, manufacturing developments and governmental actions in relation thereto, and to re-enter open session at the same place thereafter, to act on such matters discussed therein as it deems appropriate.
I so move.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
I'll do the door, John.
Close? Opposed? Good. Moves.
Oh, you
Go
gotta
ahead.
turn that off
I
too.
got to turn that.
Does this work for you guys fairly well?
The Friday?
Friday 3?
I think whatever we do, we should be consistent, so we don't have to keep juggling around.
Okay.
So
Friday's fine.
Friday 3?
most of the time, it's fine. Now, Mike could not be here too, but Fridays didn't work.
Is he still doing games for Brewers? He used to. He used to work the games. Friday works. I mean, this works pretty well, and I would say first Friday of next month. You guys. You?
It's much better for me.
Okay, so my motion is Friday the.
What day is it?
It's, we're just looking at it. The 4th, August 4th, 3 o'clock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
We have a second?
Yeah, so what did they say?
Yes.
Come on.
So what was the date?
August 4th.
So, I mean, we can set that date, but you want to change it to first Friday of the month. There needs to be a motion.
Well, I see.
Second.
Official.
And then you can change that as actually what changes regularly scheduled.
No, let's not do that. Let's just go to the 4th. Let's get Mike in the
See if
game.
it works.
Okay.
And let's see if
That'll work.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nice.
Good.
Good job. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.